first of all, I'll talk about the hat that I'm wearing. You don't see me in the hats too much. But this is about everyday Canadians standing up for the country. This is a company called, it's Emma and Liam, I'm sorry? Jack Pine, that's it. Jack Pine, they sent it over, so I want to thank Liam and Emma, but this is an example of how we need to unite, and we cannot let President Trump divide us. He'll be being sworn in a week, and then he's going to lay the tariffs on Canada. He's going to try to devastate our country. He's going to try to divide our country, and we cannot have division in our country. I understand that all around the country, everyone has their concerns, their jurisdictions from coast to coast to coast, but there's one thing that's more important than jurisdictions, is standing up for the country. Country comes first over anything, and we're going to continue to fight against these tariffs, and we're going to use every tool in our toolbox to make sure that happens.
Premier, what do you think of the way that the government
aren't you already somewhat divided? There are premiers here today who've said nothing should be off the table. Others who don't want energy or hydro or oil or gas or critical minerals on the table. You guys can't even do a joint news conference at the end of the day. So aren't you already divided?
I totally disagree with that. I understand different jurisdictions around the country have their concerns. I understand that. But nothing is more important than standing united. Nothing's more important than keeping every tool in our toolbox. No matter if it's energy or other commodities, high-grade nickel from Ontario, grade aluminum from Quebec, potash from Saskatchewan, and these are the tools that we have. You don't negotiate through weakness, you negotiate through strength. And these are the tools that we need to move forward and make sure that we have tough retaliatory tariffs to defend the country.
As we are scaling up,
I'm sorry?
Should we have tariffs on Tesla cars, for example, because we know Elon Musk is a close associate with Mr. Trump?
We will discuss that as we sit down with all the premiers and we sit down with the Prime Minister. I want to thank the Prime Minister for putting this meeting together, but I can tell you one thing, nothing's more important than the country. And when we're defending the country, we don't roll over. You're in a card game, you don't show your opposition your cards. If you have some aces, you hold on to those aces. But it's all part of negotiation tactics that President Trump wants to devastate Canada. He wants to devastate Canada through economic sanctions and tariffs. That's unacceptable. And I can tell President Trump that every American I speak to, and I speak to endless Americans, don't agree, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat. We can build a strong AMCAN fortress, as I've always been saying. Be the strongest, the wealthiest, and the safest countries in the world. But we need to work together. We can't be attacking each other.
What's your worst case scenario? What's your worst case? What is the worst?
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
Premier, with Danielle Smith, you're saying you don't show your cards. Danielle Smith has said to Canada and the world, you cut off oil, it's going to affect Canada's national unity. It's not on the table. Are you saying, Premier, that that was a bad negotiating tactic for Canada?
Well, we're going to discuss that. I've negotiated a lot of deals through the private sector and the public sector. I think everyone here and everyone across the country, you don't show your hand in the middle of a poker game to the opposition. That's what I'm saying. Everyone I respect, be it Premier Smith or any other premiers with their opinion, that's why we're coming together. But I can tell you one thing, you have to hold on to the tools that you have and make sure that they understand when they attack our country, when they attack our people, when they attack the jobs of the hardworking Canadians, you can't sit back and say, keep attacking. You have to hit back with every single tool we have in our toolbox, and that's the message to the premiers today. They may agree, they may disagree, but I can tell you one thing, There's nothing more important in our country in protecting jobs right across the country. Thank you. I want to acknowledge our great group of premiers. I always say this is the greatest group of premiers I've ever seen, from right across the country, from coast to coast to coast, but all different political stripes. And I also want to acknowledge the ambassador and the great ministers. And I know Minister LeBlanc had an opportunity to come by yesterday. We had a great discussion on border security. I look forward to seeing it being in. Well, it was a phenomenal plan. Now we have to implement that phenomenal plan and have our minister, or your minister, I should say, get out there and explain that to the people. Prime Minister, you also mentioned about NATO meeting our 2%. I have to give a shout out to Premier Wab Kinew. He's leading the charge on that. There you are, Wab. Absolute champion when it comes to that. So thank you for your leadership on that file. We also need to learn more about where the government's retaliatory tariffs. I'm a strong believer in retaliatory tariffs. You can't let someone hit you over the head with a sledgehammer without hitting them back twice as hard, in my opinion. We're also eager to learn more about other considerations that we can hit back beyond the tariffs. And lastly, we need to hear from the federal government about how quickly and effectively the support comes to workers and businesses through the tariffs that we receive. It's absolutely critical we get it out to the people as quickly as possible. Over the past several months, I know all my colleagues in our federal government have been reaching out to the people in their jurisdictions, reaching out to union members, reaching out to businesses, but reaching out to our counterparts in the U.S. And I can tell you, and I'll just speak for myself, not for the Federation, but every U.S. elected official I speak to, governor, congressperson, or senators, I'm not hearing that they support going after Canada. What I hear is they have an issue with China, not Canada. And we just have to continue reaching out to our counterparts and friends and business people down in the U.S. because it's not productive at all. And I'm just so proud of everyone stepping up to be part of Team Canada. Part of being Team Canada means recognizing and respecting each other's provinces and territories. I know everyone has different areas that they're very concerned about. We have to respect their concerns, but nothing is more important than the country. Country comes first over the jurisdictions, and this is my opinion. It also means, working together, going out there and working as a team, Team Canada, but it also means using every tool in our toolbox. We need to enter these negotiations from a position of strength with as much leverage as possible. You know, I've been in business for years, like a lot of people around this table. I've been in politics for years. You don't go into a meeting or negotiation showing the opposition what sort of cards you have in your hand. It doesn't work that way. And rest assured, if we use every tool, Canada has a lot of leverage, as you were saying, Prime Minister, and again, we'll be dealing through strength, not weakness. Moving forward, premiers need the regular meeting of engagement, either with yourself, Prime Minister, or one of your ministers. They both are doing a great job, and the ambassador, again, I want to thank you for communicating, being down in Washington, reaching out to counterparts, and just making sure the U.S. understands our message. We are not the enemy. We're your closest ally, we're your closest friend. As I've always said, the AMCAN fortress. We work together, we can be the strongest, richest, wealthiest, safest countries in the world if we stick together and we work together.